Close your eyes. Tonight, you won't wake in silk. You won't rise to birdsong, nor to breakfast, nor to peace. Instead, you'll wake beneath a roof that weeps, where the wind creeps through straw, and your breath steams in the air like a ghost unsure of its place. Here, the floor bites. Here, the cold doesn't numb, it remembers. And the bed beneath you is made of sticks, lice, and old prayers no one answers anymore. No, you're not dreaming. You're in the year 1300, and you are no one. A peasant, filthy, brittle, half-starved, but not yet broken, not yet. Because in this world there is no room to break, only to bend, to endure, to carry silence like it's your own child. And when the pain grows too loud and the world presses too close, there is a way out, a quiet one, a cup passed in whispers, a root boiled in shadows, a dream steeped in moss. They call it clear dream, but that name is a mercy. What it gives and what it takes is something far older. And tonight, your fingers find it, still warm, still full, waiting. You sit up slowly, straw clinging to your hair like forgotten thoughts. You've never held the cup before. You've only heard the stories, hushed, half-believed tales of peasants who saw too much and drank to forget, of women who met angels, of men who vanished. You don't believe them. You believe in dirt, in cold, in pain. But tonight, pain has stepped aside, and something else has arrived in its place. A gift or a trap. You don't care. Because for once, the wind is quiet, and the cup is in your hand. And what waits inside it isn't sleep, it's escape. You don't remember swallowing, only the warmth as it slipped past your cracked lips. It tastes like soil, wet, dark, and ancient. But behind that, something stranger, the faint sweetness of berries long out of season, a sharpness like burned thyme, a distant echo of wood smoke. And silence. Not the silence of sleep, but the kind that arrives when the world forgets to turn. When birds pause mid-flight and your body forgets how to ache. You try to blink, but your eyes aren't yours anymore. Because this isn't yours anymore. Not your body, not this moment, not even your mind. The straw beneath you softens. The roof above you stretches wider than it ever was, splintered beams unfolding like ribs, bending upward, higher, impossibly high, until they become trees again. You're outside, or underground, or nowhere. The ground glows faintly beneath your bare feet. It hums almost, soft as breath against your palm. Every blade of grass seems to watch you. Every root curls with intention. The air is warm but hollow, like standing beside a fire you cannot see. You are not alone. You never were. A figure stands at the edge of your sight. Not quite hidden, but not fully formed either. She is wrapped in linen, stained green with moss and ash. Her hair is the color of wet bark, matted and heavy. Her face is a memory you don't own. You do not speak. You do not need to.
She lifts one hand, bone-thin and streaked with earth, and beckons. And though your legs shouldn't move, they do. Not walking, drifting, as if thought alone is motion here. You follow her across a field that wasn't there a moment ago. The soil opens around your feet, and you realize it isn't soil at all. It's memory. Old ones, not yours. You glimpse them as you pass, like windows flickering in mud. A boy digging through snow to find his dead sister's shoes. A woman grinding herbs with red-rimmed eyes as soldiers hammer at her door. A farmer burying bread under his floorboards, then forgetting where he hid it, then starving anyway. And a man, bent-backed, soot-faced, barefoot, he stares straight at you through the memory, as if he sees you, as if you are the vision. You stumble. The woman, if she is a woman, places her hand on your chest. Her fingers burn, not with fire, but with knowing. She speaks, and her voice is not sound. It is the taste of blood, the sting of smoke, the weight of a truth you cannot unknow. This is not escape. This is the space between, where pain is not gone, only quiet. You want to speak, you want to ask, why show me this? Why now? Who are you? But your mouth is full of leaves, sweet, bitter leaves that fall like words from a dead tree. She turns, and behind her the landscape shifts again, this time into something colder. A village, your village, but not now. Years ago, before the plague, before the famine, before you were born. Everything is too bright, too clean. The roofs are still whole, the pigs still fat. Children run past with reed whistles and dirty feet. You see them. You see her, your mother. Young, not yet bent, not yet broken, not yet buried under a hill you can't afford to mark. She is laughing, holding a cup, the same cup. The dream was hers once, before you, before everything. And for a flicker of a moment, you're not just watching. You are her. You feel the weight of your own future inside your belly. You feel the cold wind that will take her husband. You feel the hunger she'll pretend isn't real. You feel the choice. Drink or continue. You know what she chose. You wake, but not fully. Your body lies where you left it, in the thatch and straw and quiet rot of your corner of the world. But it's heavier now. Not from fatigue, but from return. Like crawling back into skin that doesn't quite fit anymore. Your mouth is dry. The cup is empty. Still warm. You sit in the darkness unsure of how much time has passed. Minutes, hours, a winter. You hear nothing outside, not even wind. Only the steady, steady beat of your heart. Softer now, slower. Not because you were dying, but because part of you stayed behind. With her. With the roots, with the others who drink when they cannot cry. You do not speak of it in the morning. You rise, you work, you nod, you shovel. You ache. But something has shifted. A sliver of dream remains behind your eyes, even as the frost bites at your fingers. You'll forget soon. The taste, the voice, the field of memory beneath your feet. But not all of it. Not yet. Because you've seen it now. The place between. And one night, maybe tomorrow, maybe years from now, when your silence grows too loud again, the cup will find you, still full, still warm, waiting. But that is a story for tomorrow night.
Daylight returns without warmth. The sky hangs low and colorless, a blanket of wool pulled tight over the village. Smoke rises thin from broken chimneys. The world smells of frozen mud, dying fires, and damp wool. You move through it without speaking. You do not need to. Everyone wears the same silence now. It's not grief exactly, just the long, slow grind of survival. The kind that turns voices hoarse and backs crooked. The kind that teaches even children to stare too long at the ground, as if afraid to look up and remember the sky used to be blue. But you know something they don't. You've seen it. Not the sky, the place beneath it, beneath all of it, where memory grows like rootwork and time sleeps in the soil. You still feel it, even now, as your fingers twist twine into snares or gather the stiff laundry that won't dry. It hums low behind your ribs. Not a song, not a warning, a presence. The cup is gone. Of course it is. It always vanishes, as if ashamed of being real. But something stayed, inside you, and it's changing the way you see things. You begin to notice the small things. The way the midwife hums an old pagan tune when she thinks no one hears. The way moss grows only on one side of the elder tree, except for a single patch near its root. The way a chicken dies with its eyes open, staring at something no one else can see. These details meant nothing before. Now they glint like buried iron in the field. Not magic, exactly. Just forgotten truths. The peasant world is quiet, but never empty. It whispers in sighs and rustle, creak and rot. And now you can almost hear it speak. You find yourself walking places you don't remember choosing. Through the frozen orchard where the trees still stand like ghosts, leafless and proud. Past the old mill where the wheel groans though the river is still. Into the woods, not deep but far enough that the village sound fades behind you. And there in the hollow where the snow thins, you kneel. You don't know why. You just do. The earth here feels different, softer, like it knows you. You dig. Not with tools, just your fingers. The dirt is cold. It clings to your nails, stains your hands black. You dig until your arms burn, until your breath clouds in frantic puffs, until you feel wood, not fresh. Something carved long ago and buried with care. You pull it free slowly. It is not the same cup, but it's a cup, old, hollowed by hand. The wood is dark with age, the rim uneven. Inside, dry moss and a sprig of something brittle. You don't drink. You just hold it. And the wind stirs as if pleased. When you return to the village, no one notices. Of course they don't. You are still you, still peasant, still quiet and barefoot and nameless. But you begin to see the others differently. The smith's apprentice, he limps now, though he's not old. The baker's daughter, she's been hiding a cough. The priest, his hands tremble just slightly when he lifts the cup. Not that cup, the other one. The one filled with wine and promises no one here can afford to believe in. You wonder, how many of them have seen what you've seen? How many once drank from the same dream and forgot? Or worse, remembered too much. That night, you do not sleep. Not because you're afraid, because you're listening. To the floor, to the thatch, to the walls that creak like old bones remembering warmth. And there, in the deep hush, where even fire dares not crackle, you hear it again, the hum. Not loud, not music, just presence, waiting. You sit up. No cup in sight this time, no steam, no strange figure in linen, just you. And the old cup you found, resting on the table now, as if it always belonged there. You don't reach for it. You don't need to. You know now, this dream isn't always something you drink. Sometimes it's something you carry, quietly, carefully, like a coal in winter, not to burn, to warm. And as the dark settles over your bones and the frost paints lace on the window, you understand something the others don't. The world above is ruled by kings, but the world beneath, the one of moss and roots and memory, that one is ruled by silence. And the silence has chosen you.
You don't tell anyone. Of course you don't. There are no words for what you carry now, no names for it, not in your tongue, not in Latin, not even in the old village prayers muttered by the dying when they think no one listens. You move through the days quietly, washing cloth, feeding chickens, mending rope. You nod when spoken to, bow when expected. You say nothing, but they begin to notice anyway. It starts with the children. They stop mid-play when you pass, fingers frozen in the dirt. Their eyes follow you, wide and too still. One girl, the baker's niece, draws something in the mud as you walk by. A circle, a line, a cup. She looks up. She doesn't smile. The next day, it's the hound near the inn. Old dog, half blind, usually asleep under the ale cart, but not when you pass. He rises, stiff, and sniffs the air. He growls once, then he whines and bows his head. You don't stop walking, but your skin tightens. Something has shifted, not in you, in them. At night, you dream again. Not of the cup this time, of the ground. It is opening, slowly, soundlessly, like a mouth yawning after centuries of sleep. Inside, it isn't dark. It glows, a low golden shimmer like fire behind a wall. You see hands reaching out, not to grab, just to be held. You do not step forward. You just kneel. And when you wake, the floor beneath your straw mat is warm. The priest knocks the next morning. No one ever knocks, not on peasant doors. He ducks low to enter. He doesn't meet your eye. His robes smell of candle wax and mildew. In his hand, a scrap of parchment, roughly folded. No seal. He sets it on your table. Says nothing. Just stares. Then leaves. You wait until the sun passes the chimney shadow before unfolding it. There is no writing, just a smear of red across the page, a finger dragged across old blood, and in the bottom corner, pressed in ash, the old sign, the circle, the same one drawn in the mud by the girl. You burn the parchment. The ash curls toward the ceiling, and for a moment, the smoke shapes into something that watches you back. The village doesn't speak of you.
not out loud. But doors close faster now when you pass, heads lower, backs stiffen. They say nothing, but silence is a language too. You are still among them, but not of them. Still peasant, still dirt under your nails, still no name worth recording. But the wind parts for you differently now, and the crows gather on your roof, silent, watching. You return to the hollow, where the ground gave you the second cup. It's empty now, frozen, as if nothing ever grew here. But you kneel anyway. You place the old wooden cup back in the earth, not as offering, as answer. And the wind shifts. You don't know how long you sit, but when you stand, there's a mark on your palm. A thin, red thread, like a cut, but deeper than blood. It pulses once, then fades. You look up. A figure stands at the tree line, thin, still, covered in cloth the color of bark. You do not see their face, but they raise one hand, slowly, and point not at you, but behind you. You turn. There, where the cup was buried, the ground now pulses faint gold. Just once. Then stillness. You look back. The figure is gone, but the smell of peat and rain lingers. That night, you do not sleep. You wait. The others in the village sleep, as always. Snores, coughs, the occasional cry. But their dreams are their own. Yours are waiting. Not behind your eyes. Outside your door. You hear it. The knock. Not loud, not urgent, just certain. You open it. No one stands there, but the frost on your threshold has melted in the shape of 2 feet. Bare, small, and next to them, etched in the grain of the wood. The old sign again, but now carved with purpose, as if you've been chosen, or marked, or maybe remembered. And you understand something the others have forgotten. This village is not alone. It never was. The earth remembers, and now it remembers you. But that is a story for tomorrow night.
The sign carved into your doorframe doesn't fade. Not like frost, not like dreams. It stays. You touch it each morning with your fingers, and though the wood is dry and old, it feels warm, not like sun warmth, like memory. You begin to notice other marks, too. Faint scratches on the inn's doorpost, a circle half hidden beneath the tanner's stall, charcoal lines smudged near the well. The same shape, always. A circle, a dot, a flicker of something else in between. No one speaks of them, but people see, and people avoid. You begin to walk further, not to escape, to follow. There is something pulling you now, not with ropes or force, just quiet suggestion, like wind through long grass, calling the blades to sway. So you follow the path behind the village, the one few use. It curves through thorns and nettle, through stones too large to have rolled here on their own. You pass a tree that grows in a loop, its trunk split but healed into itself, a perfect circle of bark. You duck beneath it, and on the other side, the wind dies. Silence falls like snow, and the world changes. It is not a forest here. It was, but long ago, something happened. The ground is black and fine, like burned parchment. Trees once stood here. You can see their stumps, long petrified, charred into memory.
Nothing grows. And yet, you feel warmth just under the surface, like coals buried long ago and never fully dead. You kneel again. You know now, kneeling is not weakness. It is listening. And as you press your hand to the earth, your palm throbs. That same line, the mark from before, it pulses once, twice. Then the ground breathes. Just slightly. You don't flinch. You don't run. You simply say, I remember. And that is enough. When you return, something is waiting on your doorstep. A small cloth pouch tied with a string made of hair. You open it slowly. Inside, dried leaves, dark and curled, and a single thorn. You don't know the plant, not exactly, but the scent is familiar. From the dream, maybe, or the place under the earth. The place where things are remembered, not imagined. You boil water, add the leaves, let them steep. You don't drink. Not yet. You just watch the steam curl up and dance in strange shapes. Letters, maybe. Or warnings. Or names long forgotten. That night, no dreams come. But the walls groan more than usual. The wind doesn't whistle. It hums. You sit by the fire, but you don't feed it. Still, it does not die. Its flame moves strangely now, slow, coiling upward instead of flickering. A single tongue of gold that reaches toward the thatch but never touches. It watches you. And you watch it back. For hours, until it sighs and sleeps. And so do you. You wake to find the cup has returned. Not the wooden one, not the steaming one. A third. This one is clay, unglazed, etched with spirals and dots, as if made by hands that remembered only shapes, not purpose. It is full, not with liquid, with earth. You tip it gently, nothing spills. You place it beside your bed, and for the first time in days, your body feels full, not with food, not with peace, with presence, as if the dream is no longer a place you visit, but something that now lives with you. Outside, the crows are gone. In their place, owls, silent, watching, familiar. One blinks slowly when you step outside, and from somewhere in the distance, not far, but not near, comes a sound like bells. Not church bells, older, lower, rung not to call, but to warn. You listen. You do not follow. Not yet, but soon, because the earth is not quiet anymore. It remembers fire. It remembers names. It remembers you. And now, it wants to speak.
You wake before the sun, not startled, not cold, just ready.
The cup of earth still sits beside your bed, undisturbed. Its surface hasn't cracked, even though the clay is dry and coarse. The soil within it is dark, too rich to belong to this part of the world. You touch it. It hums. Not aloud, just beneath the skin, like a voice that forgot how to speak, but not how to sing. You leave the hut without your cloak. The air is sharp, wet with morning, but it doesn't bite. The wind presses against your chest like a hand, not hostile, just present. At the edge of the village, you stop. There is something new. A stone, tall and narrow, standing where yesterday there was only moss. It is gray, not carved, not placed, just there, as if it had grown overnight. You step closer. There is something buried beneath it. Not deep, just waiting. You dig with your hands. The dirt is looser here. It parts like cloth, like breath. Within moments, your fingers touch something flat and smooth. Bone? Wood? No. It's slate. A thin, black tablet. You lift it, and on its surface, faint but unmistakable, is the same symbol. Solon. Not drawn, not scratched, burned. You turn it over. Blink. You blink. Now it isn't. One word has appeared, slow as rising mist. Remember. The stone behind you cracks. Just once. Then silence. You pocket the slate and walk back, calmly. By afternoon, the bells begin. Far off, too distant to trace. They come with no rhythm. They toll once, then fall silent for hours. Then again. Not from the church tower, not from anywhere you can see. No one else seems to hear them, but you do. Every time, the sound lands behind your ribs. Not as a note, as a memory. You try to ignore them. You cut kindling, haul water, sit with your back to the sun. But the world is no longer built for such things. The bucket slips from your hands without reason. The firewood turns damp in your arms, though the sky is clear. And each time the bell sounds, you lose your footing for just a breath, like the earth tilts slightly, just for you. You eat nothing. You feel no hunger. That evening, something knocks again. Not the door, the wall. 3 soft knocks, not meant to open anything, just to be heard. You step outside. The village is quiet. The sky glows with a color you do not have a name for. In the distance, the old hollow is lit, not with fire, with memory. You go, because now you must. The trees part for you without wind. The stones no longer scrape your soles. Even the nettles lean back as you pass. And at the edge of the clearing where the ground once burned, something waits. It is not a person. It is not a god. It is a shape, a standing shape, like a figure made of smoke and thread and breath, swaying gently in the space between what was and what still wants to be. It speaks without sound, but you understand. Not in words, in knowing. The dream did not come to you. You were returned to it. You kneel. You always kneel. And the figure leans close. Then, for the first time, you see its face. It's yours. Older, wiser, worn down to the truth. And it smiles barely, as if to say, you remember. When you return to your hut, the cup is gone. In its place sits a ring of ash, and in the center, a tooth. Not human, not beast, just old. You lie down. The bells ring once more. You do not close your eyes. You let them stay open. And in the dark above you, on the beams of your ceiling, the mark begins to glow. Not to light the room, just to tell you you are not asleep. Not anymore. You were within. And the story has just begun to speak.
The tooth sits in the center of the ash ring. You don't touch it. Not because of fear. Fear is behind you now. You don't touch it because it is not for touching. It is for recognizing. You've never seen a creature that might have carried it. The root is too long, too curved. The enamel shimmers faintly, like wet stone. It hums, quietly. All things hum now, if you listen. The cup, when it was here. The fire. The stones. Even your own bones. You hum too, sometimes, without meaning to. A tune you've never learned, but always known. You sleep again that night, but the dream no longer feels like sleep. The dream is a field, and in that field are graves. Shallow ones, dozens of them. No crosses, no names. Just a low ripple in the grass where something once entered the earth and didn't leave. You walk among them, barefoot. The earth doesn't chill your feet. It recognizes them. It softens under each step, as if listening again. You kneel beside one mound. The soil parts gently, like it was never meant to keep secrets. Inside, a mask. Not of gold, of bark. Shaped to a human face, though the eyes are wider and the mouth is silent. You lift it slowly. It fits. You wake with soil on your hands, black under your nails, scented like deep things, mushroom, salt, and something older. The tooth is gone. In its place, a sprig of dried heather, folded around a single grain of something glowing. You wrap it in cloth and place it in your sleeve. You don't ask why. You know why. The villagers no longer look at you, not in fear, in avoidance, as if your presence calls up something too ancient to bear. The priest crosses the road to avoid you. The baker leaves bread at your doorstep, but won't knock. Even the dogs stay away now, ears pinned back, eyes lowered. It doesn't hurt. It clarifies. You are no longer only peasant. You are the one the earth remembered. By dusk, the bells ring again. This time, they don't stop. They ring low and slow like mourning, but no one has died. Not in flesh, only in forgetting. You walk to the edge of the village, to the hollow again. And there you find it. Not a voice, a door. Not made of wood, not built, but there, in the earth, a perfect oval, outlined in moss and soot. Not a tunnel, not a grave, a door. Your bones ache when you see it. Not in pain, in recognition. You kneel. The moss parts. The door breathes. And something speaks. Not in words, just in truth. We never left.
You reach forward, but you do not enter. Not yet. You bow your head and whisper, I remember. When you rise, the door is gone. But the hollow smells different. Burnt honey, damp leaves, a mother's breath. You walk home without seeing the path, but your feet know it. The house greets you. You light no fire. You eat no food. You sit and wait. You hum. Not a song, a calling. And in the rafters, the ash sign glows again, brighter. The dream is no longer nightly. It is settling in. It is becoming. And now, the earth has begun to answer. But that is a story for tomorrow night.
There's a rhythm to your breathing now. It doesn't match your heart, it matches the ground. Each inhale feels deeper, drawn from below, not above. Each exhale curls outward, like smoke from roots. You're changing, not in shape, in direction. You used to move forward, toward dawn, toward food, toward sleep. Now, you move inward, toward the old, toward what remembers. The village hasn't changed, but it looks like a painting now. Flat, faded, quiet around the edges. You pass people you once spoke to. They nod without meeting your eye. Their movements feel rehearsed, steps in a play they don't remember joining. Even the animals behave differently. The crows have returned, but they're silent now. They perch above the square in rows of threes, always watching the same direction, north. You don't ask what's north. You already know. That's where the breath came from. That's where the bells began. That's where the door leads. You wake the next morning to find a second object on your floor. It wasn't there when you fell asleep. It wasn't placed. It grew. A bundle of woven grass, bound tightly in twine in the shape of a human hand. The fingers are curled in, but not closed. You reach down and touch it. The grass is still damp, and inside the fist, tucked where a palm would be, is a single seed, black. Not glossy, not dry. It beats, like a tiny second heart. You wrap it in cloth, add it to the pouch with the bark mask in the grain. It will be needed soon. By midday, the door returns. Not in the hollow, in your house. Not on the floor, not in the wall, in the air. You're sitting beside the window when the world bends slightly, like heat off a stone road, and in the shimmer, a familiar shape forms. An oval, tall enough to enter, woven from shadow and memory and dust. It doesn't open. It waits. You don't step through. You kneel again. You always kneel, because kneeling isn't giving up, it's returning. When your forehead touches the floor, the scent of the old forest comes back. Burned wood, crushed mint, ash, and you feel the presence again. Not like last time, not as a watcher, as a host. The air tastes of iron, your spine warms, and in your mind a single voice whispers, not in words, in roots. It presses one thought into you like a seed into soil. It is time. You open your eyes, the door is gone, but something is in its place. A pair of sandals,
Not yours, not new, handmade, bound with reed and thorn, soles darkened with years of walking. You pick them up. They're warm. They fit perfectly. You do not ask how. You do not ask why. You only ask when. The fire, unlit all day, sparks once. That's your answer. Tonight. As dusk falls, the sky turns to ink. The owls arrive early. One lands on your roof and hoots once, low, soft, like a forgotten lullaby. The wind moves only where you stand, as if the rest of the world has fallen still. You pack nothing, because what you carry isn't on your back. It's in your chest now. The cup, the earth, the slate, the seed. All of it is memory, and memory is what the door responds to. You step outside. The ground under your feet is soft. Not muddy, welcoming. Each footfall feels guided. And ahead, in the clearing, the door stands open. Not a trick of air, not a shimmer, a real door now. Carved in wood older than wood. Etched with runes you don't read but understand. There is no handle, only space. You take a breath and step forward. You don't enter yet, but you place your hand on the frame and the door sighs, and the trees bow, and the world tilts, and far beneath your feet, the roots begin to whisper. But that is a story for tomorrow night.
The door is taller than you, but not wide. It asks you to turn sideways as you pass, to humble yourself. You do, because this place does not welcome pride. The moment you cross the threshold, the sound changes. Not silence, stillness. Like a library of the earth, where every grain of dust has a memory, and even the walls have ears. The tunnel slopes downward, gently, as though it has waited a long time for your steps, and wants you to take your time. You do. The light fades behind you, but not to darkness. The walls themselves begin to glow, not from torches, from veins. Tiny threads like roots, pulsing dimly with a deep green light, enough to see, but not enough to fully understand. You pass carvings, worn by centuries, not of saints, not of kings, faces, many, layered, half human, half tree, all watching, not with judgment, with remembrance. You descend further. You should be cold by now. You are not. The air is warm, not from heat, from presence. Something breathes in this tunnel, slowly, not near, not far, just around. You reach a chamber, round, small, quiet. No doors, only a bowl of soil in the center. You kneel. You always kneel. And when your knees touch the floor, the bowl opens. Not with hinges, with trust. Inside it, the bark mask. Not yours. Another. Smaller.
For a child? You reach in, your fingers close around it, and as they do, the green light flares once. The carvings shift. Not move. Shift. As though they remember your face and are adjusting their memories to include it. You hold the mask gently. You do not put it on. Not yet. You whisper, "I remember." And the chamber breathes back. Then we begin. The wall opposite you melts, not from heat, from willingness. It curls back like parchment and fire, revealing another passage, wider now, and filled with sound, a low hum. Not voices, roots, speaking, not in words, in rhythm, like drums in soil. You walk forward. Each step echoes backwards, not forward, as if the ground is recording you, not guiding you. And far ahead, the tunnel opens into something vast. You feel it before you see it, a space older than memory, a hall of earth and breath and bone. And in its center, a tree. Dead, but not empty. You step closer. Its branches are bare. Its bark is cracked. But its roots spread for miles, crawling along the stone, curling into the walls. At the base of the trunk sits a stone table. Upon it, a cup, a slate, a mask, a seed. All the things you've carried, all of them, already here. You set yours down. The slate glows first, then the seed. Then the cup fills with soil. Then the mask opens its eyes. You do not panic. You kneel. You always kneel. And in the hush of the chamber, a voice speaks for the first time. Not in dream, not in memory, but here, now. The root remembers, the leaf forgets, and you are both. You open your eyes, and beneath the dead tree, something stirs.
You do not move, not because you were frozen, but because the moment requires stillness. Some truths are only heard when the body disappears, and so you kneel and wait. The air in the chamber thickens. It doesn't press down. It listens. The bark mask on the table is still watching you. Its hollow eyes flicker faintly with green. You wonder, briefly, if there's someone behind it. But no, the mask is not worn. It wears. The stirring continues beneath the tree. No sound, no quake. Only a ripple in the root web, like breath in a sleeping animal. You place one hand on the soil. It's warm and wet and moving. Not crawling, not writhing, pulsing, with memory. You whisper, "I came because I heard." The mask answers, "Then listen deeper." You press your ear to the soil. It hums again, but not like before. Not chaotic, not endless. A pattern now. 4 beats, then silence. 4 again.
A name, maybe. A summoning, or a warning. You speak it aloud, a word you don't understand, but your mouth remembers. Arilan. The roots go silent. Then, the tree shudders. Dust falls from its limbs. A knot opens in the trunk like an eye squeezed shut too long. Inside, a glimmer. You step forward. Only one step. That's all the tree allows. Your body is no longer fully yours. The root system has begun to claim you, not with force, with invitation. Your feet are warm. Your breath is slower. Your bones feel older than they are. The eye in the trunk pulses once, then unfolds, and from the tree emerges not a person, not a thing, a shape, woven from ash and bark and old night air. It stands before you, silent, faceless, but you know what it is. You know because it is wearing your face. Not mimicking, wearing, like a mask. Like your mask. It speaks. You left us. You whisper, I never knew you. The thing answers, you were us. The roots rise, not to bind you, to hold you. They curl around your arms, your spine, your throat, gently. Not to stop breath, to remember it. You close your eyes, and in the dark, you see it all. The child in the clearing, the cup with no bottom, the tooth that sang, the soil bowl with a memory inside. They were all you, pieces, scattered, buried, watered. When you open your eyes, the figure is gone, but not vanished. It has folded into you. You feel it now behind your ribs, a weight, yes, but not a burden. A memory, a promise. The bark mask is no longer on the table. It is on your face. And it fits. Not like a stranger, like a return. The earth settles. The tree breathes out. And behind you, a new door appears. Not forward, upward. It is time to rise. But that is a story for tomorrow night.
You climb, but it doesn't feel like climbing. It feels like rising. The roots guide your steps, gently pressing upward from below. Not pushing, not urging, just remembering how your legs once moved. The passage above is lit by no torch, no flame, only a soft, bluish light. You look up and see sky, but not the one you knew. This sky is wrong. Too close, too quiet, too many stars. They pulse gently, not like fire, but like veins. You step through the final door and stand not on a hill, not in the woods, but on stone, carved, smooth, ancient. You are beneath the village, but above the roots. You are in a place that should not be, a hollow sky beneath the world. The chamber is vast, circular, open to nothing. Walls etched with spirals, faces, hands, all reaching, none touching. In the center something rises, a platform. Upon it, a cradle. Not for a child, for a memory. And inside it, the tooth. The one you left in the ashes. It has returned. But it is no longer a tooth. It is grown, curved now like a horn, hollowed, calling. You step closer. Each step echoes upward, and the stars above pulse faster, as if watching your approach. You kneel beside the cradle. You always kneel. And for the first time, something kneels with you. Not a shape, not a being, a presence. It curls around you like mist, like old breath, like lullabies you were never taught, but always heard in your bones. It speaks. Your forgetting is over. You don't answer. You only touch the horn. And the moment your fingers meet it, sound, deep, round, endless, not heard with ears, felt in blood, in teeth, in stone. It sings the song of everything buried, everything lost, everything waiting. The horn begins to crumble, not to dust, to seed. It spills gently into the cradle. Hundreds of tiny dark seeds, each pulsing faintly with green light. You feel them in your hands before they fall. Warm, wet, alive. The present speaks again. Will you plant them? You whisper. Yes. Not because you choose to, because you remember choosing. Long ago, before you were you, when you were us. The stars begin to fall, one by one, slow, silent, gentle. They do not burn. They become roots. They curl downward from the sky like tendrils, reaching into the chamber, touching the walls, the floor, the cradle. They carry songs. They carry names. They carry you. You are not afraid. You are part of the song now. One note, softly played. One root, quietly growing. You stand. The horn is gone, but your hands are full of seeds. And ahead, not behind, another door opens. Not into soil, not into sky, into others. The ones who forgot, the ones still walking above, the ones who need what you now carry. And so, you step forward. You walk toward the light, and the mask you wear does not hide your face. It reveals it.
You climb again, but it's different this time. No roots, no breath beneath your feet. Only stone stairs, worn thin by centuries of steps, most of them forgotten. Yours will not be. The light ahead is no longer blue. It is gold. Not sunlight. Not yet, but the promise of it. You reach the door. Wood. Simple. Old. You touch it. It does not open. It simply isn't there anymore. You emerge into the same village, but nothing is the same. The sky is pale, early. Birds you've never heard are singing songs you somehow know. The fields are empty, but not dead. And the houses breathe. Not literally, but they feel different now. Like they remember you. Like they know what you carry. The seeds are still in your hands,
but they do not weigh you down. They pull, gently, as if eager to touch soil. You walk slowly. The villagers see you. They do not scream. They do not bow. They only pause. Each one stops what they're doing and listens. Not to you, to something in you. A child steps forward. Not one you know, but they know you. They reach for your hand, not to take, to understand. You place one seed in their palm. They look at it the way someone might look at a star fallen to earth. Then they plant it, right there, in the middle of the path, with no tools, just fingers and breath and belief, and the ground accepts it. You feel it, a small warmth beneath your feet, a hum, the beginning of something old again. You move on, house to house, face to face. No words, only gifts. Each person receives a seed. Each seed finds soil. And with every planting, the village changes. Not in color, not in shape, in memory. Windows open wider, roofs tilt toward the sun. Even the crows fly lower, as if curious. The village becomes what it once was, what it was always meant to be. A place that remembers, a place that listens. At dusk, you stand in the square. You are alone, but not lonely. The mask hums faintly. And then, from every window, every door, every tree, people gather, not to worship, not to follow, to join. They kneel, like you once did, and the seeds begin to glow. Just faintly, just enough, roots spreading quietly beneath the earth, memory returning to where it was planted. The final seed is in your hand. You look down at the place where you first arrived, the hard earth under a thatched roof. You kneel one last time and press it into the soil. It hums, and something beneath it stirs. Not roots, not bones. Something new, or maybe very, very old. You stand. The wind lifts your cloak. The stars are waiting. But that is a story for tomorrow night.
That night, you cannot sleep. Not from fear, from calling. The mask rests beside you. The seeds are gone, given. But one thought remains, like a splinter in soft wood. There was one more. You rise before dawn. No sound. Only that strange hush the world makes when it's holding its breath. You walk without direction. And yet, your feet know. They take you past the square, past the well, past the fields, where something green and strange now begins to grow, to the edge of the village, where the path breaks and the woods begin. The trees part, not from wind, from memory. They remember you. They step aside, and the earth flattens under your steps. The mask hums gently, as if amused, and then you see it. A clearing. You've never seen it before, and yet you know it. This is where it all began. Before the village, before the mask, before even the forgetting.
A stump in the center, a circle of stones, and carved into the bark of the fallen tree, a name you've never spoken, but always been. You approach, and in your hand, the final seed. You don't remember picking it up, but there it is. Warm, heavy, singing quietly. You kneel before the stump. It's hollow now, split down the middle like something that cracked from sorrow too long held in. You place the seed inside, and it disappears. No glow, no hum, just gone. And then the stump shudders, softly, like an old chest breathing in again after centuries of dust. The air thickens, but not with mist, with presence. You are not alone, not anymore. All around you, in the stones, the leaves, the bark, eyes open. Not real eyes, memory eyes. The kind that never blink, never forget. They look at you not with judgment, but with waiting. A voice, low and ancient, speaks behind you. You've planted everything except yourself. You turn and see no one. But the truth stands clear. One seed remains, not in your hands, in your heart. The mask lifts itself, hovers, not demanding, inviting. You close your eyes, you breathe out, and as the mask lowers onto your face one final time, you become still. Utterly, totally, like a seed, like the moment before bloom. The clearing breathes in, and around you the forest begins to change. Not burn, not grow, just remember. Trees become people, rocks become words, the wind becomes a song you once hummed in a dream. And you are no longer walking. You are growing, roots from your feet, light from your chest. You do not fear. You are becoming what was once forgotten. You are becoming what was once planted. And when the sun rises, a new tree stands in the clearing. Old bark, new leaves, a hollow in the trunk, where a mask waits for someone else, someone who has forgotten.
Close your eyes. The wind is soft tonight. It carries no scent, no storm, only a feeling, like something watching, not with hunger, with hope. A child walks through the forest, alone, not lost, just curious. The village behind them hums softly, as if dreaming. The trees do not threaten, they part. They remember this path. They remember you. The child steps into a clearing, old stones, a stump, and a great tree at the center. Its bark is gnarled, twisted by time, but alive. Leaves shimmer in the moonlight, and in the hollow of its trunk, something waits. A mask. Wooden, simple, carved with the mark of a forgotten tongue. The child does not touch it, not yet. They only sit and wait. The way you once did, long ago, beneath another tree, before the seeds, before the song, before the world remembered.
The tree watches. It does not speak, but it knows, and it remembers the moment you arrived. Cold, confused, empty. You had forgotten everything. And now you are the roots beneath this place. You are the warmth in the soil. You are the hum in the child's bones. They do not know you, but they feel you, and that is enough. Hours pass. The mask does not move, but the air thickens ever so slightly, and in that silence the child hums. A tune no one taught them, a tune you once planted. The earth answers. A single leaf falls and lands in the child's open palm. They smile, and without knowing why, they kneel. Not in prayer, in recognition, in return. Tomorrow, the journey will begin again. Another rising, another remembering, another seed. But that,
Morning mist clings to the village like memory that won't let go. The sky is pale, the color of bones soaked in milk. Birds call out, not songs, but questions. And beneath the old tree at the edge of the clearing, the child stands again. The mask waits, still, silent, watching, though it has no eyes. The child breathes in, a long, slow breath, like someone remembering how to begin. And then they lift the mask. It is light, lighter than it should be, as if it wants to be worn, as if it chooses. They place it on their face. Nothing happens at first, just the sound of leaves shifting. Then a jolt. Not pain, but recognition. The child sees, not with their eyes, but with yours. They walk, but the world shifts. The path underfoot is not the path they remember. It curves differently. The trees lean closer. The buildings are younger. Some don't exist yet. And people walk past them wearing strange clothes, faces shadowed, speaking words too old to belong. They are seeing your past. They are inside your story, and the mask is guiding them. In the center of the village, a woman kneels, her hands covered in earth. She hums a song the child dreamed once, a song you planted in the soil. The child steps closer, but the woman doesn't see them. She's tending a seed, one you gave her. The earth glows slightly where her fingers touch. And just for a breath, a flicker, she looks up and meets the child's gaze. "I remember you," she whispers, even though she doesn't, even though she couldn't. The village continues to shift. Now it rains, though no clouds hang above. Now the houses sag and sway. Now the crows speak in voices not human, not beast. The mask hums against the child's skin. And then a root cracks beneath their foot. Not just any root, a new one. Something still growing, something deep and restless. And the child understands the mask does not just show the past, it connects to it, pulls it up through the soil, like sap from a buried tree. They stumble backward, but the root twists toward them. Not hostile, just curious, like a question waiting to be asked. The child kneels, touches the root, and instantly a memory blooms in their mind. Your voice, your steps, your breath as you descended the stairs of earth.
The mask tightens slightly, like it too remembers, and in the corner of their eye, a staircase, spiraling down beneath the tree. It's back. The earth did not forget, it only waited. And now the child knows. They must go down, as you once did. But this time, the roots will not be still, and what waits below might remember everything.
Morning mist clings to the village like memory that won't let go. The sky is pale, the color of bones soaked in milk. Birds call out, not songs, but questions. And beneath the old tree at the edge of the clearing, the child stands again. The mask waits, still, silent, watching, though it has no eyes. The child breathes in, a long, slow breath, like someone remembering how to begin. And then they lift the mask. It is light, lighter than it should be, as if it wants to be worn, as if it chooses. They place it on their face. Nothing happens at first, just the sound of leaves shifting. Then a jolt. Not pain, but recognition. The child sees, not with their eyes, but with yours. They walk, but the world shifts. The path underfoot is not the path they remember. It curves differently. The trees lean closer. The buildings are younger. Some don't exist yet. And people walk past them wearing strange clothes, faces shadowed, speaking words too old to belong. They are seeing your past. They are inside your story, and the mask is guiding them. In the center of the village, a woman kneels, her hands covered in earth. She hums a song the child dreamed once, a song you planted in the soil. The child steps closer, but the woman doesn't see them. She's tending a seed, one you gave her. The earth glows slightly where her fingers touch. And just for a breath, a flicker, she looks up and meets the child's gaze. "I remember you," she whispers, even though she doesn't, even though she couldn't. The village continues to shift. Now it rains, though no clouds hang above. Now the houses sag and sway. Now the crows speak in voices not human, not beast. The mask hums against the child's skin, and then a root cracks beneath their foot. Not just any root, a new one. Something still growing, something deep and restless. And the child understands the mask does not just show the past, it connects to it, pulls it up through the soil, like sap from a buried tree. They stumble backward, but the root twists toward them. Not hostile, just curious, like a question waiting to be asked. The child kneels, touches the root, and instantly a memory blooms in their mind. Your voice, your steps, your breath as you descended the stairs of earth. The mask tightens slightly, like it too remembers, and in the corner of their eye, a staircase, spiraling down beneath the tree. It's back. The earth did not forget, it only waited. And now the child knows. They must go down, as you once did. But this time, the roots will not be still, and what waits below might remember everything. The child doesn't take the mask off. Not because they can't, because they shouldn't. Not yet. They rise from the roots and walk back into the village. But something is different. The trees bend the wrong way. The stones in the path pulse faintly. And the door to the baker's house, the one with the blue cloth tied to the latch, is now a wooden archway with no door at all. They blink, and it changes back, but not quite. The blue cloth is missing now, and the doorframe hums. The village is remembering or forgetting. It's hard to tell. The child walks down the path, past the well. A woman stands there, her back turned. She draws up water, humming softly, the same melody as the one from the dream. Your song. The woman pauses, head tilted. She speaks without turning around. Do you know why the water tastes different now? The child doesn't answer. She turns slowly, eyes milk white, mouth closed, and on her forehead a faint trace of bark. The child backs away. The mask is warm now, alive, and the village begins to shift around them again. Not all at once, but in glimpses. A flicker of fire in the chimney, though the hearth is cold. A flash of old symbols carved into the doorposts. Laughter echoing from the square. Voices that have been dead for years. They step into the square and stop, because someone is standing in the center. Back straight, head bowed, face covered in leaves. And in their hand, a horn. The same horn you once touched. The same one that grew into a seed. They raise it slowly and blow. No sound comes out, but the child hears it anyway, inside. A long, deep note, low as earth, high as memory. And with it, the world stutters. Reality peels back like bark torn from a tree. For one breathless instant, the child sees a village buried beneath this one. Faces that resemble the people they know, but older, sadder, and wearing masks. The tree, but twisted, hollowed out, with something moving inside it. The figure lowers the horn and crumbles into dust. The child runs, not from fear, but from understanding. Too much, too fast. They pass the fields. The plants are strange now, curling upward, like they're listening. Villagers speak in riddles they don't remember, and in the sky, a shape, like a root, like a branch, like a hand reaching down. They stop beneath the old tree, and finally, remove the mask. Silence. The wind halts. The birds are gone, and the village holds its breath. The child looks down at their hands. A faint shimmer of bark remains on their skin, and somewhere deep below, they hear something shift. The staircase. It's waiting. Again. But this time, something else is down there. Something not born of memory, not of seeds, not of sleep. Something that remembers differently.
The stairs are colder this time, not from wind or depth, from silence. The kind that presses against your ears, that waits, patient and hollow. The child steps down, holding nothing but breath. The walls are slick, The air tastes of copper and moss. And somewhere far below, something moves. Not fast, not threatening, but aware. They pass the places you passed, the alcoves where you once saw carvings, the roots where memory whispered. But it's different now. The roots are dry, the walls cracked, and in the shadows, a pulsing green glow hums faintly. From deep beneath, they reach the base, but the tunnel does not end. A split has formed. A new passage cracked into the stone, gaping like a mouth long buried. And inside it, a pulse, a seed still alive. But this one is not like the others. The child steps in. It smells like rot and honey. The air here is thick, cloying, and on the floor lies a stone, black, veined, warm to the touch. Beneath it, something beats, not like a heart, like a drum, rhythmic, ancient. The child kneels, places both hands on the stone, and hears a voice. Not yours, not the trees, something older, forgotten even by the roots. Who planted you? The voice asks. It is not a question, it is an accusation. The stone shifts. The single tendril of green pushes through its cracks, coiled like a question mark. The child does not answer. Instead they whisper, "What did you grow into?" The seed stirs and shows them. A vision floods their mind. The first bearer of the mask, not you, not even close. A figure cloaked in firelight, planting seeds into sleeping mouths, whispering truths no one should dream, waking the soil before its time, breaking the rhythm of forgetting. This seed is a remnant of that first breaking, not chosen, not remembered, just left behind, too deep to bloom, too old to die. The child pulls back, but the root lashes out, not to harm, to hold, to beg. It does not want to be alone again. It wants to be known. They reach out, touch it, and the drumbeat falters, not stops, just listens. And for the first time since it was buried, the seed sleeps, not forgotten, just forgiven. The stone settles, the glow dims, and the passage behind the child is gone, sealed. Only one way remains now, deeper, toward the place that does not dream, toward something even you never dared reach. The stairs are colder this time, not from wind or depth, from silence, the kind that presses against your ears, that waits, patient and hollow. The child steps down, holding nothing but breath. The walls are slick. The air tastes of copper and moss. And somewhere far below, something moves. Not fast, not threatening, but aware. They pass the places you passed, the alcoves where you once saw carvings, the roots where memory whispered. But it's different now. The roots are dry, the walls cracked, and in the shadows, a pulsing green glow hums faintly. From deep beneath, they reach the base, but the tunnel does not end. A split has formed. A new passage cracked into the stone, gaping like a mouth long buried. And inside it, a pulse, a seed still alive. But this one is not like the others. The child steps in. It smells like rot and honey. The air here is thick, cloying, and on the floor lies a stone, black, veined, warm to the touch. Beneath it, something beats, not like a heart, like a drum, rhythmic, ancient. The child kneels, places both hands on the stone, and hears a voice. Not yours, not the trees, something older, forgotten even by the roots. Who planted you? the voice asks. It is not a question. It is an accusation. The stone shifts. The single tendril of green pushes through its cracks, coiled like a question mark. The child does not answer. Instead, they whisper, "What did you grow into?" The seed stirs and shows them. A vision floods their mind. The first bearer of the mask, not you, not even close. A figure cloaked in firelight, planting seeds into sleeping mouths, whispering truths no one should dream, waking the soil before its time, breaking the rhythm of forgetting. This seed is a remnant of that first breaking, not chosen, not remembered, just left behind, too deep to bloom, too old to die. The child pulls back, but the root lashes out, not to harm, to hold, to beg. It does not want to be alone again. It wants to be known. They reach out, touch it, and the drumbeat falters, not stops, just listens. And for the first time since it was buried, the seed sleeps, not forgotten, just forgiven. The stone settles, the glow dims, and the passage behind the child is gone, sealed. Only one way remains now, deeper, toward the place that does not dream, toward something even you never dared reach.
The tunnel tightens. Stone gives way to something stranger, not rock, not root, just stillness, like the world holding its breath for too long. The child moves slowly now, one hand brushing the walls. No carvings, no moss, no whisper, only quiet. The mask hangs at their side, limp and cold. It does not help here. This place does not remember. It never did. They come to a hollow, a chamber, vast and black. No torches, no moonlight. Yet everything glows faintly, not with light, but presence. Something is here, not waiting, just being. At the center of the chamber, a stone table. Upon it, a bundle, wrapped in cloth, older than time. And beside it, a figure, bent, silent, maskless. The child does not speak. They know. Words would not reach this place. Instead, they approach. The bundle hums, a soft vibration, familiar. The child unwraps it and finds a mask, not like the one they wear, not bark, not carved, but woven, of hair, ash, bone, and thread. It smells of sorrow, and underneath it, etched into the stone, this was the first. The figure beside them shifts, slowly, as if remembering how. A face lifts, not human, not beast, just face, blank, pale, cracked, eyes like extinguished stars. And it speaks. No sound, just meaning, straight into the child's mind. You carry a story not meant to last this long. The child nods. The figure continues. When memory lingers, it becomes root. Root becomes vine. Vine becomes trap. It leans forward. You must end the dream before it blooms again. The child hesitates. They were told to remember, to carry the dream. But this place, this forgotten silence, it knows something even the tree does not. That forgetting is not a loss. It is a mercy. The child places the woven mask beside their own. Two faces, two stories, one old, one almost new. And between them,
a choice. The ground beneath them stirs. The roots, even here, are listening. But they do not grow. They simply wait. And the figure says one final thing. Choose not what to wear. Choose what to leave behind. The chamber fades, not into darkness, but into unbeing. And the child opens their eyes on the forest floor. Morning. Dew. Birdsong. But the village is quiet. Too quiet. Something has changed. And in their lap, only one mask remains. But they do not know whose it is.
The tunnel tightens. Stone gives way to something stranger. Not rock, not root. Just stillness. Like the world holding its breath for too long. The child moves slowly now, one hand brushing the walls. No carvings, no moss, no whisper, only quiet. The mask hangs at their side, limp and cold. It does not help here. This place does not remember. It never did. They come to a hollow, a chamber vast and black. No torches, no moonlight, yet everything glows faintly, not with light, but presence. Something is here, not waiting, just being. At the center of the chamber, a stone table. Upon it, a bundle wrapped in cloth older than time, and beside it, a figure. Bent, silent, maskless. The child does not speak. They know. Words would not reach this place. Instead, they approach. The bundle hums, a soft vibration, familiar. The child unwraps it and finds a mask. Not like the one they wear, not bark, not carved, but woven of hair, ash, bone, and thread. It smells of sorrow. And underneath it, etched into the stone, this was the first. The figure beside them shifts, slowly, as if remembering how. A face lifts. Not human, not beast, just face. Blank, pale, cracked, eyes like extinguished stars. And it speaks. No sound, just meaning, straight into the child's mind. You carry a story not meant to last this long. The child nods. The figure continues. When memory lingers, it becomes root. Root becomes vine. Vine becomes trap. It leans forward. You must end the dream before it blooms again. The child hesitates. They were told to remember, to carry the dream. But this place, this forgotten silence, it knows something even the tree does not know. That forgetting is not a loss. It is a mercy. The child places the woven mask beside their own. Two faces, two stories. One old, one almost new. And between them, a choice. The ground beneath them stirs. The roots, even here, are listening. But they do not grow.
They simply wait. And the figure says one final thing. Choose not what to wear. Choose what to leave behind. The chamber fades, not into darkness, but into unbeing. And the child opens their eyes on the forest floor. Morning. Dew. Birdsong. But the village is quiet. Too quiet. Something has changed. And in their lap, only one mask remains. But they do not know whose it is.
It begins with breath. The child inhales and the world inhales with them. The sky folds inward. The trees bend toward silence. The mask in their hands, no longer yours, no longer theirs, pulses like a living thing. Its shape is uncertain now, memory reshaping itself, ready to become or ready to fade. They walk into the forest, deeper than roots, past the places even your footsteps forgot. And there, in a clearing no map remembers, the final tree waits. Not tall, not twisted, just quiet, bare. At its base, a hollow. And in the hollow, the seed. Not the one you planted, not the one they found. This seed has no name. It has waited too long for that. But as the child kneels, it opens without fear. And inside, not a plant, not a root, but a face. Not theirs, not yours. A face that has not yet been worn. A face that could belong to anyone. A possibility. The child understands, at last, that this was never about memory. It was about choice. To carry the story forward or to let it rest. To let the bloom become a forest or to lay the seed down, unplanted. They hold both masks now, one in each hand, one full of stories, one full of silence. And they choose. You'll never know which, because that's not how stories end, not truly. Somewhere, someone wakes beneath a thatched roof. A village waits beyond the trees. The well hums a song no one remembers learning. And in the soil, something stirs. It may grow, it may not, but it was seen. And that is enough. Sleep now. The story is still here, even if no one tells it, even if you forget. It waits, like roots, like masks, like names, like you. The end. Moon.